So, I don't know. This might be a hot take. I don't know. But here I am. And I have not seen Spider-Man yet. I have apparently seen it this weekend. Whenever my sister and me are going to go see it this weekend, probably, whenever she has off. That's what we were planning. I have been spoiled for most of the stuff, so I know what's going on. It's kind of hard not to because it's everywhere. But I'm seeing people saying the MCU is back. And I think it's been back for a while now. It's the Daredevils, the Thunderbolts, um, Wonder Man. It's a sleeper hit. Too bad that got canceled for season 2. Apparently they were filming and this got canceled. I don't know. But in my opinion, this is my hot take, I think the MCU needs to reboot. I think Marvel is the MCU fans are too fascinated on 5 characters. For Iron Man, Captain America, Wanda, and the Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, and the Incredible Hulk. If those 5 characters aren't in a movie, and then you throw in Spider-Man, let's just say those 6 characters aren't in a movie, they consider it a bad movie. So, my hot take, which reboot the MCU. After Secret Wars, reboot the entire series, get all new actors, all new actresses. Once in a while, do another multiversal event like Secret Wars or something like that, where you bring in some of these old actors to play their roles again. Like Tom Holland got married. He said if he has kids, he's done acting. So he's already been signed for 2 more movies for Spider-Man and Secret Wars. So that's like 3 more movies we have with Tom Holland, and Secret Wars is being filmed now with Tom Holland with parts and stuff like that. But we're not going to have it forever. Everyone's like, we want Miles to take over afterwards. I want them to reboot the series, do a new Peter Parker, have him actually have an actual love triangle with him, Mary Jane, and Gwen Stacy, and actually use Mary Jane as a redhead. We don't need a trick. I know Zendaya is not Mary Jane. Don't come at me, people, because she's not. She is Michelle Jones. But I want them to reboot the series. One of my lights are out. I want them to reboot the series for Spider-Man. I want them to get a new Captain America. I want them to have all this stuff new. And then I want them to start the series basically with a new Spider-Man movie, a new X-Men movie, and Captain America. Should be the first 3 movies. And then give us some offsuit shows, like, what was it, a Monster Command, Monster, what was the one with Elsa Bloodstone's group? Do a group like that as a TV series. Do another TV series of the Two Gun Kid. You guys probably don't even know who the Two Gun Kid is, but he's a cowboy from old-time westerns. Let's build out this universe with different timelines and storylines that we could have. So Captain America's in World War II and doing his stuff against the Hydra and stuff like that. Even though I don't think that really works anymore because of our timeline anymore. But yeah. do stuff like that. Eventually, maybe 5 or 6 movies down the line, give us an Iron Man. Give us a Hulk. Give us the Thor movie. But don't make the main characters in this new reboot. Give us different stuff. Like, focus on the X-Men for a little bit, but then focus on different offsuits of the X-Men, like X-Force, X-Factor, New Mutants. Do stuff like that. Maybe give us a movie of Cable in the future. Fights an apocalypse. And then you start building your universe, maybe 2 years, maybe phase 2 of this series. Then you start connecting all the storylines together, so that we're building up to the Avengers and the big X-Men teams. But don't focus on that. Focus on, first off, street level and, well, wartime movies. Like Captain America will be based in World War II. Spider-Man, street level. X-Men, street level, basically. Two Gun Kid, the Wild West. Give us the Dawn Two Gun Kid. Give us a Wild Ghost Rider, too. What's his name? Quentin? It's not Quentin Brack. It's... who was... I'm trying to figure out. The Phantom Rider. Give us the Phantom Rider, I say. Doing the Two Gun Kid thing. And then as the Monster League, whatever, give us Ghost Rider and Dell, too. For them to team up with once in a while. And that's how you're going to build out your series. Like, you have X-Men to build out the X-teams. You have Spider-Man to build out this ground level teams. A new Punisher, a new Daredevil. Stuff like that. Once in a while, have a crossover with Spider-Man and an X-Men, I guess, because they're in the same facility. Have the Fantastic Four show up. Maybe movie 6 or something that have Fantastic Four in phase 1. But when you finally do get to the phase 1 to phase 2, the movie that's like the Avengers movie that switched into phase 2, had this one be just a team up between 2 hero teams, like Spider-Man and the X-Men, or Spider-Man and Captain America. By the way, introduce the Thunderbolts. Probably in phase 2, have the Thunderbolts show up, so that we have some villains that show up from other shows into the Thunderbolts. I think that would be kind of cool. Yes, I do want Thunderbolts. I want more repetition of the Thunderbolts, because they'll get to a bad rep right now, because people only watch the movie, and I'm having a conversation right now online on YouTube because I said I actually like the Thunderbolts again. And this guy's like, I never watched it, and I don't plan on watching it. It's not my cup of tea. It's like, how do you know it's not your cup of tea? you can't. You're making a judgment by the cover of something. Watch the show. That's all you have to do, is just watch the show. But most of these people aren't comic book fans, so let's introduce the MCU group to some new comic book characters. Or old comic book characters. You guys have it all now. I think the only one you don't really have a grip on is Spider-Man. Sony. I'm not happy with you with other stuff, Sony, but come on. Loosen your fingers on Spider-Man. Which gets some of these Spider-Man characters into this universe. So that people can what's his Let's have, what was his name? Night Thrasher. Let's have Night Thrasher in a movie. Hydra Man in a movie. Like, actual Hydra Man. Molten Man. Let's have Titania and Volcania a movie. How many of you guys know who Volcania is? MCU fans. Whew. To be fair, we might actually get them because supposedly the leaks, there are 2 women that are the bodyguards of Doctor Doom. I wonder who that is. I couldn't tell you. But have a Beyonder series, like something so up with the Beyonder, an actual good Madam Web. Have the Inheritors in the movies. Like, we could have an Inheritor. I still want a Batman Court of the Owls movie. So, having an Inheritors Spider-Man version of the Court of the Owls, I think that'd be kind of cool. But people are only fascinated in some heroes, and if the MCU isn't one of these heroes in their exact costumes from the MCU, they're not happy. It's like, I want Chris Evans, Captain America. I don't want Sam Wilson. Like, dude, they're both Captain Americas. Heck, we didn't even get all the Captain Americas. It's like, Bucky should have been capped for a little bit. And we did get John Rocco Captain America. We didn't get, we did get Bradley in the new Captain America movie with Sam Wilson. And in the Falcon and Winter Soldier, we got Bradley. But we didn't get Patriot. We didn't get other characters who took on. Like, we got Iron Patriot. That's not Iron Patriot, by the way. If you think War Machine was Iron Patriot, you have some stories for you. But we don't even have a good Norman Osborn. Spider-Man's greatest villain, and we don't even have him in, like, technically Tom Holland's universe. Bring him into the universe for this new reboot. Keep it kind of comic book accurate so that we don't get a lot of, like, space battles and stuff like that. Like, actually have a ground level fight. And let's not have a movie. Well, the main villain is Jean Grey up against Spider-Man in a Spider-Man movie. Come on. I don't know. I hear the movie's good. I haven't seen it yet. But that's annoying. And I'm a Spider-Man fan, and I'm saying that's annoying. I'm a Spider-Man and X-Men fan, and I'm saying that's annoying. Like, why? It's like you could have had so many other Spider-Man characters you could have introduced. Heck, the opening credits, from what I understand, are just comic book pages that you did in live action. With the Tarantula and Boomerang and Renrod and stuff. Put those into the movie. Like, have what was the offsuit Sinister 16 with Spider-Man baddies or something like that, where there's like just offsuit villains. Have them as a team. It's like, if you don't give us the costumes, give us some action scenes. You had Tombstone in the movie. You had Scorpion. And they're not big parts. Like, what's wrong with you guys? Come on. Any of those parts, Tombstone and Scorpion by themselves could have held this movie together. Give us Negative. It'll be kind of cool. He has a ground level fight. See? Ninjas. Like, Why is the hand in the Spider-Man movie? I'm sorry. Uh, but again, MCU fans only know these characters from other movies, which introduce some other stuff. Like, that's one thing about X-Men 97 is like pointing out people in the background I don't even know. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's a cool character. I want to know more about him. Or whatnot. It's like, do that. To be fair, the New Mutants got a sort of terrible movie. It's a 6 out of 10. But let's have an actual good New Mutants movie that actually follows New Mutants. Let's have a Sinister show up in X-Men. Let's not be afraid to do comic book movies again. Like, come on, the first Spider-Man movie was Spider-Man vs. Green Goblin. Technically, it should be Spider-Man vs. the Chameleon, but Chameleon had to show up in Kraven the Hunter. It's like, and all these villain movies, give us the heroes with the villains. I'm sorry. Like, Venom's cool and everything, but Venom should be with Spider-Man. I'm sorry. Venom should be a Spider-Man villain at first and then become a hero. Not be, I'm a hero off the start. It's like, then we have like Morbius. It's like Morbius could be in Midnight Sun category with Blade in Morbius, or Elsa Bloodstone in Morbius. Well, but I in Morbius. I'm giving them options here. But no, Morbius was in the Morbius movie without Spider-Man, by himself. And for some strange reason, at the end, the Vulture shows up from the MCU. None of the, like, actually have some storyline people. And tone down the CGI on these movies. Like, from what I understand, Tom Holland did most of these stunts by himself. He is wearing an actual suit. No CGI. Keep this stuff up. We don't want CGI anymore. CGI is getting overrated. It looks bad 5 years down the line. Like, you watch Endgame again, and you'll understand why CGI is a bad thing. Woo! Anyone want to talk about some floating heads? How about the two giant men? I mean, Ant-Men's running around in the background. Yeah, CGI is a bad thing. That's from the biggest grossive Marvel movie until Brand New Day, which I think just beat Endgame. But I want people to understand why Sentry is such a cool character. Let's have Sentry in a movie. How he actually is, why he's so powerful. Like, the Thunderbolts does a pretty good job of showing some of Sentry's powers. Some. He's much stronger. Let's have Molecule Man in the movie. Molecule Man is one of the probably top 10 strongest Marvel characters, right there with Sentry. And we haven't had Molecule Man yet. Technically, we had Null in the Venom movies. I don't consider that an actual thing, because he was there for cameos and that's it. It's like, yeah, he'll have Null. He's gonna be an important character in the future, even though His storyline doesn't even add up with the MCU yet. No. By the way, notice this. One of the strongest villains in Marvel. He's back. And he's teamed up with the good guys. I had to pick up some comics. I was going to go to the comic book store yesterday, but they closed at 6, and I was heading out the door at 6:15. And it's a 40-minute drive. So, yeah. But, dude, you guys probably don't even know who the Green and Black is. If you're MCU fans. By the way, Green and Black is Hela, taken over by a symbiote. No, symbiote. Yeah, you know now. Actually, I think it was the All Black he's taken over by. Which technically is an MCU thing because the sword that she was using in the MCU is those spiky things that she does. That's technically the All Black. But at the same time, the Love and Thunder 4 is, what's his name? Oh, what was the villain's name? I can't remember his name, but he had the All Black sword. So, the All Black is, then there's the Black Knight, who also, at the end of the tunnels, and he had the All Black, so everyone has the All Black apparently in the MCU, but no one really did anything with the storyline for any of that. Stupid. It's also another thing. The MCU fans are like, oh, the MCU is dying type deal. Like, this phase 5 or whatever, was such a bad phase. I'm like, there's actually good movies. It's just the fact that you didn't like any of the characters. Like, the TV shows did amazing. Werewolf by Night, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, the 2 Daredevils, Wonder Man, Wanda, Vision, heck, even Falcon and Winter Soldier was great movie, like TV shows. Except for the little thing at the end. Oh, yeah. Let's have Monica Rambeau actually be part of the Avengers. And actually use both Captain Marvels. And then Ms. Marvel. We could have Captain Marvel as Warbird with a black costume. And don't be afraid to be a little sexy. I'm sorry. When I think of the MCU, and I think of a woman character, she's totally an armor. I'm sorry. Iron Man 2 was the best version of Black Widow because she looked like the comic book counterpart. But by the time Endgame came around, it's like, that sort of looks like the gray costume from the comics. I got sneezed, sorry. But Scarlet Witch should look like Scarlet Witch. Don't be afraid to make a comic book accurate costume. Like, the brand new day costume for Spider-Man looks amazing. I've been playing him as Fortnite all the time. It looks good. Don't be afraid to make costumes like that. It's like, and no more of this like CGI face plates that go over people's faces. Yeah, make an actual helmet, like Power Ranger style or whatnot for Iron Man. Like, that was one thing about Ironheart that I liked. her suit actually looked like a suit. Like, she was small and it was a 10-foot suit that she gets into. Yes, do that. I also like Mephisto, but most people didn't know it was Mephisto. Wasted characters. By the way, the Hood as an Ironheart villain, that's weird. It gave us a new character who kind of works with the Dark Avengers because he was part of the Cabal. But you're not going to do anything with the Cabal because we don't have Emma Frost. We do have Namor. And we do have the Void. So we got some characters for the Cabal. But yes, I think the MCU needs to reboot. Actually do some storylines that are actually connected to the comics. Maybe a little bit tweaked. Which not get... Like, I enjoyed Supergirl because it was pretty close to the comics. It was like 90% there. They took some scenes out, put some scenes in, changed some scenes, storyline, plot lines, like adding Robo and having Supergirl do what she did at the end of the movie. But it wasn't bad because it was like 90%, 80 to 90% of the comic book was in the film. Yeah, let's do that more. Let's not have like Captain America Civil War. Well, 5% of the storyline from Civil War was actually in the movie. And it really was on very shaky ground. Another thing we're not doing this new reboot that I'm making. Let's not KO, get rid of, destroy, KILL, villains. Which send the villains to prison. Have them come back in another movie where it actually makes sense, and then you're like, oh, this villain's coming back, cool. Like, you can do that. The MCU early days, even now, they're like scared to do anything to the, like, the villains are all gone, so most of the heroes can't fight them again or do anything with them. By the way, Kang the Conqueror should come back. Kang the Conqueror is a strong villain. Kang the Conqueror is multiple races. You don't need one guy to play Kang the Conqueror. We can have a woman, we can have a black guy, we can have a white guy, we can have an Asian guy. We can have a dog play Kang the Conqueror, or a cat. We can have a cat play Kang the Conqueror. Whatever you want. Because that's who Kang is. So, being like, this actor was trouble, let's not do anything with him, and then delete the character from existence in a semi-okay movie. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was mediocre. Let's have Kang actually be Kang. I was hoping he would show up more in that X-Men 97 because he seemed like he was going to be a big plot line. Like him versus Apocalypse. But no, that hasn't happened yet. We have 2 episodes, people. But how about Yellow Jacket? Well, he's actually Hank Pym and not some unknown character who becomes MODOK. MCU, you're so sick, man. That was such a... Whew, let's actually have a good MODOK that's actually scary and not just a big floating ball. Let's have some like tornado and I don't know. Have Wasp and Hank Pym be part of the Avengers at the start, so that when Ultron shows up, Tony Stark and Hank Pym and let's just have Bruce Banner throw in the mix, make Ultron, maybe Mr. Fantastic. Just throwing that out there. You could have a pretty smart group of people be like, hey, let's make this robot that we don't have to risk our own lives. It's fine. But you can make some exceptions. Like the fact that it was only Tony Stark and Hank Pym who made Ultron and the Woods, or even... Let's have Cindy Moon show up in something. Oh, wait. She shows up in like every Tom Holland movie. And I think she was in an Andrew Garfield movie. But they never do anything with her. Let's actually do something with Cindy Moon. Can we do something with her? She's the one Spider-Man character that everyone loves in the comics, but never gets any love, and she's like never in any comics. She's also Luna Snow's best friend, so that might help something. Heck, let's have Jeff do Ansock. Rivals is big, you can have Jeff. I'm just throwing stuff out here that we could do to make an actual good universe for Marvel. Well, it's not so just not connected in any way. Which says the Eternals actually be the Eternals and not basically an offsuit version of Power Rangers. I think that would work. Heck, I was watching Robo Don't Know, and he was going through all the Marvel handbooks from like up to the 80s. There are so many characters in those. We could have those show up. It's like we don't need the same 6 characters to hold every movie's hand. We can have new characters. We can have different teams. Like the Thunderbolts. We can have the Thunderbolts. We don't need to rename the Thunderbolts the new Young Avengers or New Avengers or heck, even the Dark Avengers, even though I love the Dark Avengers and the Dark Avengers technically part of the Thunderbolts. But we can have the Thunderbolts be their own team. And not have to be worrying about a copyright issue. Like, you can have the new Avengers be formed by Sam Wilson, building up the Avengers again. I'm sorry. By the way, can Sam Wilson technically sue them over the name because of the fact that the name's not technically copyrighted because it's Avengers? The main readers of Avengers aren't even around. The only 2 that should technically have any rights for the name is Hulk and Thor. Sorry, Sam. But yes, I don't think Marvel... I don't know. I don't think Marvel should continue with these characters. I think they should reboot, bring in new characters, bring in new actors, bring in old characters with new actors, and actually have a storyline. Not one director tells their own story to another story and hopefully the pieces connect. we can actually have an actual storyline, which have a universe with 1,000+ heroes. It's like, come on, the comic books have like 2,000, 3,000+ heroes. Not counting villains, not counting side characters, just heroes. I ain't even counting vigilantes like the Punisher. It's like, it's been going on for like 70 years. Plus, because Marvel actually technically bought a 100-year-old comic book before it became Marvel. So it has some old characters. Let's introduce them. Because people, I'm kind of getting tired of trying to explain characters to people who they're like, that's not my, it is. You just don't want to run that there was 5 different Captain Americas. It's not woke, it is storyline. It's not because, let's put it this way, back in the 60s when the Black Captain America first showed up, it wasn't woke. It was just, here's a new Captain America who took over during the Vietnam War. Actually, it was 70s, but still. Heck, let's bring in the white Black Panther. Even though I don't like that character. Let's introduce people to him. By the way, look him up. There's technically 2. Wakanda's son was one, and T'Challa's son was one. And I can't remember his name. And then there was the cop from the early 2000s who no one liked because the cop was an a-hole of a human being. But let's introduce them because you guys probably don't know his name either. His name was very forgettable. But it's not the fact I don't want to see him in a movie. It's just the fact that he's basically worse than John Walker. So, yeah. Don't be like, hey, I don't like this movie because this character's not in it. Be like, hey, I want to know more about this character. That's, I think, what my main point is. That's how I want this new universe to be for the reboot. Introducing characters that people don't know. Like, heck, the Supergirl movie, when Robo showed up, I've had people be like, I don't know who Robo is. And it's like, oh, you're in for a treat. And then I sent them links and stuff to Superman, the animated series, or the Justice League, or some comic book quotes from Robo. It's like, you can always do some research. This is a YouTube site. You can type in someone's name, be like Marvel or DC, type them in, and look up the history about this character. There is probably someone who has done it. It is on Google too. It is a simple thing to do. You can look up new characters. I do that when I have questions about people. Heck, I have books upstairs, kind of like the handbooks, that give you information about all these characters. Mainly about Supergirl and Superman and Spider-Man, but there's some other Marvel stuff like that I have upstairs. But I've been buying them for years because I'm interested. It's like, I don't want characters, I don't want people being like, this isn't a good movie because this character is in it. I want them to be like, this isn't a good movie because it's not a good movie. There are movies I've seen that I like. Let's put it this way, the early 2000s Fantastic Four, okay movies. Like, they weren't great. They were like 6 out of 10 movies. But I enjoy watching them. I go back every so often just to have a good laugh and stuff like that. 2016 Fantastic Four, terrible movie. Bad graphics, bad acting, bad storyline. They tried to be the Dark Knight and it just didn't work. You can have that. But the old Daredevil movie, which I think gets a little bit too much hate, you can enjoy it. I enjoyed it. If you get the unrated version or the uncut version, watch that. That's the better version. But we could have movies. We could have a new Daredevil movie. Imagine having an actual Daredevil movie in like 2028, 2030. Yeah, that'd be cool. We had like 5 Punisher movies. Woo! Can you imagine Punisher being the most like recast hero? Because we had John Bonfar, we had Ray Stevenson, we've had what was it? One in the 90s, one in the 80s, and 2 more in the early 2000s. So yeah, we had a lot of Punishers. I would love to see a Blade movie, even though it keeps getting canceled. I think mainly because they can't do an actual Blade movie anymore because they don't know how to do Blade. But it's like I've watched some terrible movies, and I can tell you there is not a lot of MCU movies that are bad. I could tell you there are a lot of MCU movies that were disappointing, but not bad. The Fantastic Four from 2016, bad. That was trash, and it should be in the garbage can. It's like most of this. I'm not going to talk about the DC universe because a lot of that was bad. When I have the early the 90s Batman movies higher than most of the Zack Snyder movies, you know it's bad. But it's like I think my main thing is I want movie fans to actually know characters in the movie. Like Hellcat. Do you know who Hellcat is? She was in the MCU. But I bet you don't know who she is. Night Nurse. She's in the MCU. Even though she was supposed to be in Brand New Day and her scene was cut. How could you cut her scene? Woo. Yeah, there's so many characters. Like, don't be like, this movie's bad because this character's not in it. Be like, this movie is interesting because it has a new character. It's called running. It's called history. Open a book. An actual book. You can buy most of these comic books. Go to your local comic book store. Buy it. It's one of the things I tell people to do with the Marvel Legends Magic the Gathering crab. You can sell those cards for half the price of the figure. It doesn't really take that much difficult. All you have to do is browse my local comic book store. It will tell you on your phone. It's not that difficult. So, do that. Look up your comic book store. Go to the comic book store. Buy some comics. I guarantee you, they probably have a back section of comics, that stuff is on clearance because they can't get rid of it. Pick up some of those comics. You help out your comic book store. Just read the Pete's Momoko comics for me. I'm trying to get all of the covers. There's a video in my thing. I love Pete's Momoko. But, yeah, go to your comic book store. Go to Always. Always has comic books in bags of like 5 comic books for like $1. Buy those. Those are fun. They're mystery bags. You don't know which one you're going to get. I found some pretty good stuff in there. Some Pete's Momoko covers I got it there. But go to Always, pick up some comics. It's not a difficult thing. And I'm pretty sure you have other places like Always. It's a retail. It's a half-off store, basically. Even though lately they've been selling a lot of stuff for like close to full price. But do stuff. Don't be like, this is a terrible movie because you don't know someone. One, you have Amazon. You could buy a book. You have internet. You could easily Google who this character is, do some research. And if they totally destroy a character like Yellow Jacket from Ant-Man, then you could be like, that's a terrible movie. Ant-Man's a terrible movie. Ant-Man's one of the lower MCU movies. Like The Eternals was a terrible movie because they did terrible portrayals of these characters. But you can do research. It's not that difficult. Don't be lazy. Don't be stupid. Just do the research that you need to. This is going for, I see so many YouTube channels that get millions of views or hundreds of thousands of views where they don't know anything because they're only focused on the MCU. You can learn more than just what the MCU says. You can actually watch an actual movie for some, like, there's documentaries about Stan Lee, how he's creating characters. Watch that. Be interested. If you're a Marvel fan or a DC fan, you have the knowledge and the technology to watch some of this stuff, to get educated about some of this stuff. And don't attack each other because of the fact that you don't like a movie that someone else likes. Like, I don't like Zack Snyder's. I made that really clear. A lot of Zack Snyder stuff is terrible. But I'm not going to tell you, you are a terrible human being for liking Zack Snyder. Same thing with James Gunn. I'm enjoying James Gunn. Go watch, if you don't like James Gunn, you don't have to watch James Gunn. You're missing out, but you don't have to watch it. But Marvel, you can do research. It's simple. There was 75 years of Marvel comics, almost 100, probably closer to over 200, over 100, because of old characters that Marvel bought. I think DC's almost 100 years old. Woo! And that's just DC. That's not the characters they bought before DC. That's insane, just thinking of that. But yeah, you can watch stuff. There's YouTube channels, you just type in the character's name, look them up. Like, I have videos for New Mutants and stuff that I just have comics that they read to you the comic book. You can watch that stuff. It's right there. There was the Thunderbolts. I don't own a lot of Thunderbolts comics because my knowledge of Thunderbolts was at the local bookstore looking for the comics. That's my knowledge of Thunderbolts up to such a point. Man, I'm old. But you can do stuff like that. I do want to go buy, but Thunderbolts are very expensive. I have that big book and a couple comics here and there, but you know what? I have a Century book too. But yeah, just go look on YouTube, look on Google, Yahoo, whatever site you want to use. You can find the characters you want to that you don't know. Heck, I bet you guys don't know much about Iron Man besides the MCU. Look up Iron Man. He's interesting. It is actually an interesting storyline. Look him up. Look up Captain America. Like I said, there's a lot of Captain Americas. Look him up. Just don't be like, I only like this character because of this character. Be like, I like this character because of this storyline. I like how this character is portrayed, how their story is, how they'll... It's like the MCU isn't everything. You have a wide world. Once you open that gate, you will be surprised on stuff you didn't know. Just do it. It's easy. And all you have to do is hit the hourglass. That's all you have to do. Type in something, type in Spider-Man, hit the hourglass, it would show up. You have the technology, use it. And I think I'm going to let it off there because I've been going on an hour-long rant. Woo! See you guys next time. Hopefully you understand what I was talking about because it's 12:12. I started at 11:11. So, yeah. Bye.